Hey, Baruch Hashem, we're on part 3. This amazing, as they all are, Sikha from the Rebbe, Parshas Mishpatim. We're reading from this book. Get it in English only also. livingmashiach.com, also where you can download it and read it. And this is a bilingual, actually, very nice. There's half in Yiddish, half in Hebrew. But it's it's the original. It's very good to have the original was printed. I got permission personally by the people who print this. The Rebbe gave permission to print his Chassid so I could use his book. So this by itself, even without the English, is not a bad deal because it's very good print. The only thing is soft cover, but if you take care of it, big print and clear print, I love learning with it. Okay, so now we're on number 7, and we're learning that the fact that the nations of the world got together and decided that we're no longer going to put money in for war, but we're going to put money for mankind. That's what we're going to spend. Humanitarian needs. And the Rebbe says that, and not only that, but where they got together was with the place from the Frierdiker Rebbe, and points out everything comes from the Frierdiker Rebbe. By him coming to America, he refined the place, and this is why, because the only one that the hearts of the leaders are refined, that they listen, they open up and they listen to Moshiach. And he says, we see that since they're listening to Moshiach, because this is, even though by makes sense just to be kind and this and that, but countries never like that. And especially before, or we want to get some more countries, more power. They just didn't want to just work together and enjoy together. And that, if by me, I'm not a New Yorker, but it's interesting. I mean, I drive. I don't have a car, so I go Lyft and I go Uber a lot. I talk to the guys. It's very interesting. New York is like everybody has their own place, and they have their own people, and they get along, and they do their thing, and somebody else does their thing. Everybody gets along. Nobody bothers anybody. It's like, it's like Moshiach's time. I don't know. And everybody's just going to get along. Just be nice to one another. You'll have your own place and your own people. It'll be nice. So anyways, I think that's like a real Moshiach Indian. But anyways, but by nations in general, he says that the nations, what they want to do, they want to colonize them more and more. So when they start thinking straight, that means they're listening to Moshiach. The Rebbe says that that's received that the nations getting together to do all of this, and he points it out. It's very much tied into the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe and 770 and many other things. That this is because of the time that's clearly that they're listening to Moshiach, and at times and we're in the times of Moshiach. It says times of Moshiach. This is what the nations will do. So now we're on number 7. All right, sorry. And we may add additional points in that the connection between the Torah portion of Mishpatim, after we're number 7, to the end of the time of the exile and the beginning of redemption. So when we read in Mishpatim, we read things that are tied into the end of the Golus and begin redemption. The order of the Torah portion is that the Torah portion of Mishpatim comes right after the Torah portion of Yisro, okay, which ends with the laws of the altar. Why is a passage regarding the laws following passage regarding the altar to teach us? So why by Mishpatim has to do with passage regarding laws? Why do they go after a passage regarding the altar, the Mizbeach? To teach us that the Sanhedrin, the Jewish Supreme Court, should be located next to the sanctuary, the altar, which this alludes to the fulfillment of the prophecy. And I will turn your judges at the beginning and return the Sanhedrin to their chamber in the third base of Migdal, called the Lishkas Agazus. And likewise, in the continuation of the Torah portion, it talks about in the daily portions on Erev Shabbos to bring to the place that I have prepared for you. My place is already evident, parallel to it. It's talking all about Moshiach. That one of the verses one teaches us that the base of Mikdash above is precisely parallel to the base of Mikdash below. How is this tying into here? Hold on. Okay, the sanctuary, this is... Okay, so first he says how we're supposed to have the Sanhedrin there. And then also he says that the place that it also says that you're going to bring into a place that I prepared for you. It's going to be my place, as the Rebbe says, is already evident, talking about the third base of Mikdash to it. And it's one of the verses which teaches us that the base of Mikdash up above, the holy temple that's above, the holy temple, third base of Mikdash, everlasting temple, and two, that from that it's above and it's right next, connected the base of Mikdash below. And two, that from the Torah portion of Mishpatim, we come to the Torah portion of Truma, that's talking about the making of the things in the Mishkan, to the extent that we begin reading it during Mincha, prayer of Shabbos. So it's very connected. We read it the same day. The Torah portion of Mishpatim, in which Hashem said the commandment, and they shall make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them, which refers to the command to build the tabernacle, and the first and second base of Mikdash. And also, and mainly the Rebbe says, the third base of Mikdash, the sanctuary which you, O Hashem, have established with your hands. We say this every day in davening. And between them there is the Torah portion of Mishpatim. So here you have the Torah portion talking about the altar and other things, and then you have the Torah portion of they're talking about building the Mishkan. One's talking about the building the base of Mikdash, and the Jews are the Sanhedrin. That second one's talking about the building of the Mishkan and everything. So they're all in between. You have Mishpatim. We have this Torah portion that talks about laws between man and man. So and between the Torah portion Mishpatim, between them, these two ones, there's a Torah portion of Mishpatim. In order to emphasize that the matters of the redemption, the third base of Mikdash, the altar and the Sanhedrin, in these Torah portions, Yeshua and Truma, are in a manner of Mishpatim, intellectually understand laws. What are we saying? So that in between these we have to understand intellectual laws, which are obligated even from the perspective of human intellect, namely, that they have already been drawn forth and permeate the realm of the world, and that the world from its own initiative announces that the time of the redemption has arrived. The world knows. I mean, I talk to people all the time. People know when you just mention to them there's something special happening. We're in a very, very special time. There's a lot of badness, but a tremendous amount of godliness, holy light, and wonderfulness that's happening in the world. You just have to try to you have to emphasize on that and doing more good stuff. And then the bad stuff you have to deal with. I mean, it's not easy, but that's how it goes. It's life. But it's amazing what's happening in the world. You see amazing stuff. People helping. And I'm amazed. People nice to each other. People like each other. I mean, they just like each other. Another Jew, another Chassid, another guy in shul. It's just because they like you, because they like people. They're good people. They don't like you because you have money or you're this or that. I mean, I'm just like amazed. 770s, so much nice people there. Anyways, so how did we get into this? So we're talking about the ideas of laws, and the laws. The idea of the laws is in between ideas of in matters of building the holy temple. So it says in between is laws. So what are laws? Laws are things that a person, if God didn't present it, you would know it's not good to steal. You would know it's not good to murder, because you can't live that way. It's common sense things. And so it says that these laws are really godly laws that God put in us, and that when we use them, we're revealing God's laws. But let's go further. That it affects that the world is going according to God's laws, even that the judges and it makes sense to do what the Torah says in these matters. So number 8, further and mainly, also in the Torah portion, Mishpatim itself, we can see the connection to the end of the time of the exile and the beginning of the redemption, based on the explanation of the Torah portion Mishpatim in the oral Torah. Okay, so with the oral Torah is the Talmud, they're bringing all the laws and the Shulchan Aruch, Chassidus. So the laws which are discussed in the Torah portion of Mishpatim regarding matters between man and his friend are explained in the oral Torah in the order of Nezikin. The order of Nezikin is actually 3 books in the Gemara, but they're also connected. He says that it says the entire Nezikin, in essence, is one tractate. So he then divided the first tractate into 3 parts. He then divided the first tractate into 3 parts, beginning with Baba Kama. So the first one talks about damages between an ox, a pit, and a fire. And, there's danger. There's dangerous things. There's things that can kill people, hurt people. You can't just do bad things and live terrible situations in the street that people could fall in pits and kill themselves or cut themselves, or their house could burn up because you're not careful. I mean, there are these things that are really things that have to be taken care of right away. You can't live in a civilized life. So that's the idea of Baba Kama, damages. And one who wounds his friend, and for any judge may not, and for a judge may not to proceed to anything before removing from the community these things. This is the first level that cause damage. They have to get to have a safe place, and for this reason he precedes these laws before all other laws. So the laws dealing with how to deal with people who do the terrible things, how to keep order. Afterwards, we have Baba Metzia. What's Baba Metzia? Which discusses claims, guardianships, rentals, the laws of borrowers and the hired workers, just as the order of the verses in the Torah portion of Mishpatim. And thereafter, it's the same idea. Thereafter, the law says there's an ox, a pit, and a fire. And when the people will quarrel, and he speaks about the 4 guardians afterwards, and Baba Basra, which discusses the division, that's the last one. So this one is discussing more civil type of things. Who owns this, who took this, this happens, who has to pay. It's not like it's danger to society. It's people having issues they got to work out. How do you? What are the laws if you borrow money? If you borrow something, or somebody gives you something to keep, or if you pay for something, if you're renting something, all different types of laws, how it works. So all of this is the middle of Baba Metzia. Then after that, after you figure that out, you know what it means to be civil to one another, you get the level of Baba Basra. Now, Baba Basra, it says, which discusses the divisions of the land and the guards regarding shared dwellings, and he places this section last, why, in all the laws that have been given over from generation to generation, as well as the intellectual concepts that are not elaborated upon in the Torah. So he... What's this mean? Hold on a second. I'm going to send something here. Beseder chelik hazeh b'achron b'shvil shel kula couple the dibri svaros below his bar minotor. Below his bar minotor. Anyways, so it says these things were not explained out in the Torah. No, I understand. Okay. The Rebbe says he placed this certain last section and all its laws that have been, just the last one, been given over from generation to generation, as well as intellectual concepts that are not elaborated upon in the Torah. In other words, the written Torah, there's many of these things weren't talked about, but in the oral Torah they elaborated. And this is the emphasis in the words of the Zohar. 3 courts of justice that the sages, the sages established in the order of the Mishnah. The first one was regarding the 4 categories of damages: the ox, the gores, etc., etc. The second regarding the talus, the parashah that was found, and the third regarding the who 2 people claiming they found it at the same time, who gets it. It talks about over there. And the third one is regarding matters of partners, and what's the secret of a lost object that they chose in the order of the verse that is written regarding all acts. In other words, that the third one is talking about being good people to one another and helping each other, respectful, and trying to work things out that everybody's happy, and not trying to jump on people and take away from people. Just trying to be good with each other. That's the idea of Moshiach. And they chose the order as is written regarding all act negligence, regarding an ox, a donkey, a sheep, refers to Baba Kama. For it discusses these things regarding clothing, mentions Baba Bas, Baba Mitzi, the mother ones, the middle one. Regarding all the lost object, refers to Baba Basra, and if you have to return the lost object, how it works, that goes to the last one, because you're making the world a better place. Namely, that the 3 sections of Zichron are alluded in the verse regarding all acts of negligence, which is in the Torah portion of Mishpatim. So in other words, the Rebbe is saying that all the laws and stuff in the Torah are relevant to this week's portion, and okay. So now we see that everything is taken care of, and then everything we're ready for Moshiach, because the whole world's taken care of. There's no more danger. Civil laws have been worked out. People figured out who gets what, who doesn't get what. They're happy with that. And finally, we're working together to make the place even more beautiful and better with building up walls so we don't have to look at each other and different things. Make how many things to work together for goodness. So that's but all of this, and we talks about this. These are the three levels. And it's all included in the word when it says regarding all acts of negligence. So all of this is in this week's Parsha. The explanation of this, how does it work? Nezikin alludes to the general time of exile, which is divided into three, corresponding to the 3 general exiles, when there are undesirable matters Nezikin in the world, beginning with the 4 basic damagers during Baba Kama, the first stage of the exile, and likewise matters of disagreement and quarrels that this one says I found it and this one says I found it. They shall divide it during Baba Mitzvah. That's the second level of exile. So the first one is you disagree and you quarrel. No, that's the second one. Was the first one. Oh, and I read this one. Okay, let's go from the beginning. So Nezikin damages allude to the general time of the exile, which is divided into 3 corresponding to the 3 general exiles. So there are three books. When there are undesirable matters, Nezikin, in the world, something that's damaging, beginning with the 4 basic damages, like talk about how people did something with ox, different things were damagers. This is during Baba Kama, the first stage. You have to get rid of these bad guys of the exile. And likewise, the disagreements and quarrels. This one says, I found it. This one says, I found it. Talking about they both come to court grabbing a talus, grabbing a cloth together. I found it, and they should divide it. That during Baba Mitzvah, the middle stage of the exile, they're fighting over stuff. Until we have Baba Basa, the last stage, the end and the culmination of the exile, which starts off with the parties that want to make a division in the courtyard, that from their own goodwill. They are doing this because they want to interfere with the fact that they do not want, because they want to be inferring. I'm sorry. Let's go to this end. It starts off with the partners wanting to make a division in the courtyard from their goodwill, that they are doing so because they want to inferring to the fact that they do not want to do that if they don't want to do it, they're not obliged. In other words, it starts out saying we're just doing it because we want to do good stuff. I don't have to do this, without being forced to do it. We don't have to make a decision to make this wall, to set it up. And they discuss the manner to eliminate the damage of one of them who's seeing what the other one is doing in the privacy. They said, we don't want this, we don't like it. And they both agree it's not a nice thing. And it's a conclusion with the statement that one who desires to become wise should study the monetary laws of the Torah, the supremacy of the wisdom of the Torah Sinai, in a manner that it also permeates the realm of the world monetary law. In other words, it be talked about that Mishpatim, it comes from Sinai. That's also, these comes from Hashem, directly divine. So he said over here that when you study and the laws of the Torah of these areas, then you see in the world Moshiach. You see that the Torah is there. That's the manner that also permeates the realms of the world, monetary laws, intellectually understood laws, that through the risk of undesirable, that is Nezikin, is nullified, that through learning and studying about these laws, the risk of undesirable matters Nezikin is nullified and completely eliminated at the end and the culmination of the exile, which then begins by this doing it and learning and studying it, like he's saying over here, and then you study, you come to see the wisdom of the Eivishter in the world itself, and it's revealed in the world that this is God's great wisdom and His glory. Then to reach this level, that this is the level that we've finished everything, and because God is revealed everywhere, and then we come to the true and complete redemption, and the third and trifold redemption, which transformed the three exiles, and likely the third and trifold Beis Hamikdash, which includes the tabernacle, first and second Beis Hamikdash, the first and second temple, and transforms their destruction into a building and magnificence. So to swear that the final building is going to be some that's going to include all the special qualities of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the first and second base, and it's going to even have more. So it says that it's amazing what the Rebbe is talking about here. So by how do you reach this level is you learn the Torah and you do toward the Nezikim. You turn between man and man, and you do it because it's godly's holy. It's from God, not because it makes sense or anything else. And you do it in a way that this shines through everything you do. And to add that this is okay. So this, the Rebbe says. So now we finished with the three tractates, and we're good people, and we finished, and we work with etc., and ready for Gula Shlema. And to add that in the tractate, and remember that whole way this is done is through us doing Torah and mitzvahs and being good. Because for our abode of making the world a special place, this opens up the hearts of the leaders. And then they listen to Hashem. So we're all part of it. And to add that in the tractate Baba Basra, the end of and the culmination of the exile, there's an allusion also to the true and complete redemption through Moshiach. In the known Talmudic passages, that they talk a lot about Moshiach at the end of this tractate, the Gemara, in which many of the prophecies of the redemption are expounded upon, and among them it says that in the future Hashem will make a feast for the righteous from the flesh of the V'yaisen, the big fish, and it says in the future Hashem, God, will make a sukkah, a tent, for the righteous from the skin of Levi's and this big fish, and will make their gates of kodkod. What's it mean? What's kodkod? It's in the stone that it would be the stones of Yerushalayim. And one said, what's kodkod means? Ons, and another one said it means jasper, upon which Hashem said to them, it will be this as well as that, both types of precious stones, and the future Hashem will raise up so now he's talking about the gates will be made of these all types super precious stones, the Beis Hamikdash. And then it says over here that in the future that Hashem will raise up the Yerushalayim 3 parsos, as it says in the verse, and I will raise up and settle in the place. And you might think that it will be troubling to ascend, be hard to ascend upon it. Therefore, the verse says, "Who are these that fly like a cloud?" We're going to go up in the clouds, and like doves in their nest, as well as the Talmudic passage regarding the division of the land of Israel in the time to come. So we got these clouds that can just take us. I mean, it's. I think, Elon Musk is very much in the news. I mean, he has his spaceships that just take you. So we have clouds that are just going to take us wherever we go. 1, 2, 3. Get on these clouds and go. One blink of an eye will be in Yerushalayim with everybody together. Now we're on number 9. Okay. Excuse me. The above spoken, number 9. I'd like to say a few stories, I guess. We're talking about here that the laws, you bring them and you do them because God said so, and when you're keeping it, it's revealed that there's God's special law from Sinai. It's not like something helping nature. But I said, man, I don't know, I was thinking of a friend of mine, his wife, Davida. I asked her how she became religious. I love you. I'm about you. I created a story that's, I don't even understand it myself what happened. I have no clue to this day. But so I asked her how you became religious. She was a Persian lady. She was in L.A. She went out to Boston for grad school for whatever reason. And one day, she wakes up and she says, I have a soul. What am I doing for my soul? It started bothering her. What am I doing for my soul? She does it. And that's how she became religious. She started searching this, learning Torah, that's how she became. I love Avacha. And then another thing, it was an interesting story. This was also several years ago, maybe 12 years ago, I don't know. Very bad with years. But at somebody's house, and it was in by the Rebbe, and they had a young lady there. It was her birthday. I think she was 25 or something. Wasn't that old. And she said she had Yechidus with the Rebbe. I'm looking at him. That's impossible. And whatever. So she says she had dreams from the Rebbe, and a dream from the Rebbe is a Yechidus from the Rebbe. So, I mean, I never thought of that. So, okay, I kind of accepted it. I said, okay. And then she told me she prayed that the Rebbe should come in her dream. I never heard of such a thing. So I was telling this other person, she said, Lubavitcher, she lived in Svat, I think, married to a friend of mine. I was telling her about that, the one who became religious because she realized she had a soul and had to do something good for her soul. She says, yeah, the girls prayed for the Rebbe to come into a dream. I mean, I tried it a little bit. I don't do too much of that. But it's interesting. I mean, you can see, you start to see how people connect to the Rebbe. I have people that talk to him through his pictures, and it works. And most people that use Igris, different things. The Rebbe's, amazing how he communicates. Anyways, okay. So right now we're talking about maybe that's the whole idea over here is. I mean, that's the whole idea from the Rebbe. I was thinking about it. That he takes this holy man to the Rebbe, Malchus Moshiach. I mean, he's part of God himself. And he's here in the world, affecting the world, helping each person how to do his stuff. And you see, it's the Rebbe's holiness. So this is like things that maybe this is a marshal, a comparison that with the laws, that they see that these laws are just from Hashem. Okay, so the above soak intensifies the wonder together with the great distress, and so much so that due to the greatness of the distress, it is inappropriate to speak too much about it on Shabbos. How is it possible that Jewish people still find themselves in exile until now, ad Masai? How is it possible that after all the signs indicating the coming of the true and complete redemption literally, immediately, including the event of Erev Shabbos, in which the nations of the world are announcing that we have reached an era, that they will beat their plow swords and their swords into plowshares. We find ourselves on this holy Shabbos in the diaspora, instead of finding ourselves together with all the Jewish people from the entire world, in our holy land, in the holy city of Jerusalem, and in the base of Mikdash, sitting at the laden table, prepared to be eaten from, upon which lays the bison, the wild ox, and the gourd wines. All these things is why we can't. Furthermore, the Rebbe said that's where we have to be. Furthermore, and mainly, that we have not yet received the notification, command, and their empowerment that they shall make me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them, as we read in the Torah during the Mincha prayer, with regarding to the building of the third base of Mikdash. Now we're in number 10. And from this we understand the great necessity to add with advanced vigor and greater strength in matters that hasten and bring the redemption in the true and actual literally immediately. Rebbe is going to tell us what we have to do. First and foremost, in the matters which is emphasized in the Torah Mishpatim, is the details of laws between man and his friend in a peaceful matter, and obviously not doing the opposite, thereby nullifying the reason for the last exile. So therefore, by being nice and peace and loving to one another, then we're get rid of there'll be no reason for that. It's a reason for the last exile. Which to this the redemption comes, as the word of our sages said regarding the virtue of justice, that with it Yerushalayim is built, as the verse says, Zion is redeemed with justice, and likewise tzedakah, and its captives should be redeemed with tzedakah, and the acts of kindness, and regarding which is explicitly written in the Torah portion, that if you would lend money to my nation, to the poor man, there are acts of kindness, loans, even greater than tzedakah, as explained also in the Talmud passage in Baba Basra that explains the Torah portion of Mishpatim in the Oral Torah, that the details of the commandment of tzedakah, and among the main details, great is tzedakah, since it hastens the redemption, as the verse says, Hashem, guard tzedakah and guard justice and do tzedakah, for my salvation is near, and my tzedakah will soon be revealed. Wow! So what is all of this about? That through doing what we're supposed to be doing, and taking care of each other, and being good people to each other, we bring the Gula Shlema. That's what he's saying. What's it mean to bring Gula Shlema? So we said earlier, part of the Gula Shlema is that the leaders of the nations listens to Moshiach. So by us doing all these wonderful things that we said before, I really never thought of it so much in such a direct way. And this year I'm going over it. But us just being good people and acts of kindness, making the world a better place, a godly place. With simcha, we have to do it, and do it in a wonderful way. Then if this is how we act. By doing this, we bring the world. We refine the world, and the world's ready for Moshiach. Beginning with the timely matter, by being tzedakah, by doing different great things. The timely matter is the custom of every year that Motzi Shabbos, the night following the Holy Shabbos of Torah portion, including the verse that if you will lend money, there is a malva of dinner to benefit the free loans. And being that the public needs are discussed on Shabbos, it is befitting that the administrator of the free loan fund should ascend and announce regarding the malva dinner, and certainly it will proceed in a most beautiful manner. The Rebbe is so beautiful. It's such a nice bracha. And in a matter that a vast nation glorifies the King, and they will donate from their goodness, from their hearts, to free loan fund, and furthermore, mainly that that the resolution to do so will immediately bring the reward. It will bring the redemption. Just we're going to do this wonderful thing, literally immediately. Which upon then, the Mavamaka, the meal of the David Melech Malchim Moshiach, very amazing. David, the ancestor of King Melech, King of Moshiach, will be together with the leader of our generation and our righteous Moshiach at our head, in the holy land, in the holy city of Yerushalayim, in the third base of Mikdash. Oh, this is so beautiful. The Rebbe does this. It's amazing. How he says what's going to be, and explains it, puts it out. Every word is like my mom said, like another, like one, I think, beauty of beauties. So, okay. And in the wording of the beginning of the tractate of Baba Basra, the part says that desire, that the conduct of the relationship between one another is in a manner of the two partners, in which each one wants the good of the other partner, more certainly, and so a fortified from the resolution, the announcement that the leaders of the world's nations regarding unity among them. He said this comes out that we see that the leaders want to make peace, and through this that they will build a wall, a gazis of stones, which is what's it mean? Which we may say, Rebbe is making a thing that this alludes to the building of the base of Mikdash. Why did build a wall? As the continuation of Parshas says, gazis, smooth fashioned stones. They're the various fashioned stones, as written, and all the precious stones of standard of gazis, huge stone size. In the continuation, the Talmud speaks about, we're talking about gazis, speaks about the virtue of the second base of Mikdash greater than the first, both in structure as well in the amount of years it stood. As is written, that the honor of the last house will be greater than the first, which this verse refers to, and mainly to the third base of Mikdash explained in the Zohar. What's he talking about here? We're talking about when we do what's good and we do things that help one another. This brings, I guess, in the Gula, and he talks about the third base of Mikdash, and Gazis. And the continuation of this is also the instruction from the beginning of the Torah portion of Teruma, which we read during the Mincha prayer of this Shabbos. Okay, what we read with Parshas Teruma, that they shall make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them, beginning with the individual sanctuary within each and every Jew, in that it does not say rather in them. It says that so why is it Besocham? It said because that means each and every Jew. That make me a Mikdash, I should dwell in each Jew. That is within one's hearts, and within one's house, and within one's room. That it become a house of Torah, prayer, acts of kindness. You become God's altar. You become God's Mikdash, including and especially the taking part of the building and the broadening of synagogues and study halls in a manner of that they shall take a donation from me and from each and every Jew, gold, silver, copper, all 13 items enumerated in the verse, which through this we hasten and bring about the immediate building of the third base of Mikdash in the most literal sense. The Rebbe says be doing what we're supposed to be doing, and doing good stuff, and making places that you can do more good stuff and more learning Torah. This makes the world a holy place for the redemption come right away. 11, and there's a special empowerment for all of for all of above in these days. And what is this? Okay, in addition to the unique advantage of the month of Shevat, the 11th month, we are now coming from Chafei, the 25th of the month, which alludes to Chafei, so they bless the Jewish people. The priestly blessing to bless the nation of Jewish people with love, and specifically like that they're going to bless us with love, in a loving way. In L.A., there's the Persians, a lot of the Sephardim, Persians especially, they do Torah's Khanim by Erev Shabbos. And they're some old guys, or maybe my age or older. They're probably older. And he was like, he didn't know well English. So calling them, when he would give brachas, I would ask him to give brachas. He would put his hands on my head, and you just feel this like love coming from him. And his bracha was like this just life of wonder and love, just giving everything, giving a bracha. It was amazing, you know. So we're talking about the Ponim's brachas. It was, I remember, I've always like, you know, I'd like to go back just get a bracha from him. It's amazing. Anyways, and they so where we go? Okay. Okay. Now there's a special empowerment for all of these above in these days. We can do something special. In addition to the unique advantage of the month of Shevat, the 11th month, we are now coming to the Kafeh, the 25th, which alludes to so which bless the Jewish people, the priestly blessing. 2, bless his nation, the Jewish people, with love specifically, and likewise regarding the priestly blessing, which each and every Jew and Jewish blesses, that we all, when we get up in the morning, that they shall be for me a kingdom of priests, at the beginning of every day, following the blessings of the Torah, which must be said with the feeling of love of our fellow Jew, as it emphasizes also in the fact that the continuation to this, even before the morning prayer, each and every Jew says, I hereby accept upon myself the positive commandment to love your fellow as yourself, as the Alter Rebbe rightly says in the beginning of prayer in the prayer book. It's suited for every person equally, even and mainly that the priestly blessing includes all the blessings at the height of perfection. It has the virtue of blessing as well as the virtue of prayer, and especially in the most the blessing of the true and complete redemption, literally immediately. So this is a level from Ko 25. This is the Rebbe says, what's the 25th? This was see how he explains what it is. Amazing, the Rebbe says. Okay, now after that we fall 26, which is Erev Shabbos. Which is in the America of Shem Havaya, which corresponds which corresponds to the fulfillment of the mitzvah. So you shall have blessed the Jewish people, that through the Kohanim to the base of Mikdash, with the tetragram, not as in time of the Golos, and they used to bless with a special name. And then the preparation for this is the service of the Jewish people. The Jewish people have a kingdom of Kohanim in a manner that I place abide before me always, that should be Shem Kenegdi Tommy. I think that's what's in Hebrew. Yeah. that I place it before me, even during the time of exile, in which through this we hasten and bring about the revelation of the name of Havaya in the entire world, and after and through its we bring God everywhere, and after and through its revelation and the priestly blessing in the base of Mikdash, just as I have written, so am I called, my name is pronounced. That this is followed by the 27 Zach. The month Zach means pure. Means pure olive oil, to raise up a continuous lamp, the pure gold menorah, made of the one piece of gold, which alludes to the unity of the 7 types of the Jewish souls. They're paired to the seven branches of the menorah. And following, you have the 28 Chavches of the month of the tribes. As additional, it's the idea of koach, this idea of power, strength. And following it, we have the Erev Rosh Chodesh, the day of ushering in the head of the month, which is preparation for Rosh Chodesh. the renewal of the moon on the Rosh Chodesh after its consummate Erev Rosh Chodesh alludes to the renewal of the Jewish people, who are destined to be renewed like it in the true and complete redemption, and especially since Rosh Chodesh occurs on the third day of the week, that when the utterance of that third day said Vayom Shlishi, that it was good was repeated, that the beginning of the true good of the redemption, and especially the double good, which double is connected to the redemption, and with extra emphasis regarding the month of Adar, which it says is a healthy mazel, and being that it is that the month that was transformed to joy, the joy of the redemption of Purim, and the redemption of the redemption, next redemption, the Purim, they had the redemption of Purim, the redemption of Pesach, the Passover, which Passover is connected to ultimate redemption, as the days, as it says, as the days you left at Egypt, I will show them wonders in the ultimate redemption, next to and also changing the order, namely that in the changing the order, namely that the true and complete redemption comes before the redemption of Purim. In other words, he wants to have now the Gula right now. Let's see what time is. Oh, we finish up. Okay, now we're in number 12. Okay. And added that all of this, redemption, next redemption, refers to the second Adar, which is close to Nisan, and not to the first Adar, which is announced and blessed today. So we may say that this is a fact of referring to Adar that is close to Shevat. Well, not the okay. Let's go with it. And to add that although the redemption, next redemption, talks about refers to the second Adar, which is close to Nisan. So the second month of Adar is that then you have Nisan, and not from the first Adar, which was announced and blessed today. This was the blessing for the first Adar. We may say that this fact is also referring to Adar that is close to Shevat. That's some Shevat. Ki, oh, that's close to Shevat. So hold on. So, what's that mean? The wording of the Mishnah. So the one is the second of Adar is close to Nisan that has Gula to Gula. The first Adar is close to Shevat. So what does that mean? From the wording of the Mishnah, there is no difference between the first Adar and second Adar, besides for the reading of the Megillah and the giving of presents to the poor. We can infer that in other matters, and in our case, it's in relationship to the redemption, they're the same. And furthermore, that since it is called not merely Adar, rather first Adar, it makes sense to say that the first is also a virtue and importance as emphasized regarding the seventh of Adar, which is connected to the notification of the decree of Haman that the lot fell out on the month of Adar, and he did not know that on the seventh of Adar Moshiach was born, which is mainly celebrated in the first Adar. And likewise, we find that regarding the many matters that mention in Adar without specifying which one refers to the first Adar. The Rebbe says that there's a lot of areas where Adar itself, the first one, has some special qualities more than the second. So in addition to this, and then we're finding in the first Adar the Rebbe is talking about, in addition to this, although on this Shabbos, upon which we bless the month that they announce as per the instructions of the Torah, a Jewish custom is a Torah, that Rosh Chodesh of the first Adar is on Tuesday. Behold, that when Moshiach will come immediately before Rosh Chodesh, upon which we will once again sanctify the months based upon seeing the moon, it is possible that the Sanhedrin might change this and decide that there will be only one Adar. And it will be next to Nisan. and it's befitting to elaborate upon this. However, this is not the place. So the Rebbe goes on. It's very interesting. He says, well, we're going to be in the base of Mikdash right away. So it's going to be the base of Mikdash right away. So this maybe it's just only one Adar, because they could say there's only one Adar. He said, "Oh, here we're going to be there, and this might." But this might would be a question. Can we do this? Will we be able to? But this is not the place to discuss it. But it's like he's looking and seeing the Gula coming and saying, "This is the question we're going to have now." Okay. 13. And may it build to be the will of Hashem, that this is the main thing, that the true and complete redemption through Moshiach comes in a literal, actually, literal, immediately. Take a miyad mamish, and most certainly that there is no need to wait until the month of Nisan, and even not until the month of Adar close to Nisan, and even not until the month of Adar close to Shevat, since Moshiach comes on Shabbos, and upon which he blessed the month of the first Adar, and at the end of the month of Shevat, on the 27th of Shevat, especially on Shabbos afternoon, in the time of Mincha, the prayer, and the third Shabbos meal, which is connected to the third redemption and the third base of Mikdash. So there's no reason we can do it right now, the Rebbe is saying. But and may so be for us, literally, actually, literally, immediately, with all the explanations of miyad, immediately, that also includes the acronym of the generations in general, Moshe, Yisrael, Shem Tov, and David, the ancestry of Mordechai, and as I shall explain above, mamish, literally, the first and foremost, miyad, mamish, in the most literal sense, mamish, mamish, mamish. So the Rebbe says in footnote that there are more also specifically regarding that generation, that the acronym miyad immediately alludes to the 3 periods related to my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe of our generation. See the talk of their roles. Okay, it says it there, and the order to us from us, Moshiach Menachem name, and Yosef Yitzchak, the second in name, the 5th Rebbe. In other words, I think he's saying over here, for in Hebrew. So he says that Miyad refers to the Rebbe Menachem Mendel, and the Yud refers to Yosef Yitzchak, is the Frierdiker Rebbe, and Dvar is the name of the Rebbe Rashav. So that Miyad, that's the Dvar. So it refers to it. So this, the end of this, the Rebbe says that he's Moshiach. That's what he's saying. He said over here that he's Moshiach. This is one of the places that I remember. Somebody asked, did the Rebbe ever get up and say, "I'm Moshiach"? So people say, I don't. I've heard like some of the big Rebbes that said that I don't know it's a Rebbe, some very special person. He said, when you learn what the Rebbe talks about Dvar Malchus, it's not that he paints a picture that there's no other way to see it. I mean, like right here, he says there's 2 things. Mamish, Rebbe says mamish, mamish, mamish. Menachem Mendel Schneerson is the letter of the Rebbe's name, and then miyad means it goes to Moshiach, Menachem Mendel, and then goes to Frierdiker and the Rebbe before. I mean, the Rebbe's. There's no way that makes any sense to understand that the Rebbe's Moshiach. So, anyways, Zaygazut everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you learned it and appreciated it as much as I did. You helped me so much by giving these classes. I don't think I'd learn it so good. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. I hope I help everybody to learn and understand better and feel better about yourselves. Zaygazut and Stark. Remember, go to Rebbe 770. You can write in for people to the Rebbe. Get yourself some Rebbe water. So download Rebbe 770. You can also look at my YouTube channel. I don't have some more stuff on it. I have to develop it better, like how to make Rebbe water, things like that. It's Dvar Malchus Explained. DVAR, Dvar Malchus, MALCHUS, that explained. EXPAPLIANER, I think NERED, explained. So check it out, very good. And B'ez Hashem, we'll learn more, do more good stuff, and we'll see Gula Shleima right away because we deserve it. And it's happening, but we have to see the final thing. Sei gesund.